92.3
Free FM.
Here you can be free.
The Radio Chick.
92.3 Free FM. I'm the Radio Chick with Chuck and Butch. JC over there in the news bunker of the universe. Frank Vincent just walked in the studio like he owned the place.
Hey, how are you?
Frank Vincent, of course, you know from The Sopranos. You know him from Goodfellas. You know Frank Vincent. And he's just written a book called A Guy's Guide to Becoming a Man's Man.
Oh, Leslie, A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man.
Excuse me.
Co-author Stephen Preget. Forward by James Gandolfini.
Of course.
You know who that is.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we heard of him.
And that's about the whole deal. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
So is it your one-man crusade to bring back the art of being a man's man?
Absolutely. We have to get some tradition back into the style because it's a little too loose.
You think? Too sloppy?
Too sloppy. I mean, these guys look like they slept in hampers.
Nice. That's good.
Right. Now, you say that women like man's men, if you will, bad boys even.
Yeah.
But I notice in your book there you say a bad boy is not a guy that trashes a hotel room. You have a different definition.
Absolutely. A bad guy is, he's a little notorious. He's sexy. He's a little, he doesn't give it all up. He treats his women nice, but he doesn't give it all up. He doesn't tell he doesn't tell everything. So he's a little mysterious.
So, bad boy could still be classy and refined.
Absolutely. Donald Trump's a bad boy.
Yeah, well.
Okay, I'd say that's true.
Okay.
And
He's got a few dollars.
He's got a couple, yeah.
I think he's doing okay.
He's got a jet.
He'll be fine.
He's got a jet. He just posed his pregnant wife naked on that jet. Did you see that picture?
He's a man's man. Only a man's man could do that. Yeah. Pose your wife naked.
Absolutely.
That's
Pregnant and naked.
Pregnant and naked, right.
So now it's a good guide. It's a how-to book. It's really step-by-step in there, Frank Vincent.
Well, it's a guidebook, but it's also a little tongue-in-cheeky. I mean, we have some stories about the different things I went through in my life, but it has a lot of information.
Like you have situations where being a man's man is really on display, like dealing with a bartender. You had some rules for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For
I'm
instance,
interested.
if I'll give one, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Give a couple.
Man's man, no blender drinks.
Oh,
I'm with you on that.
well,
yeah.
even a margarita, Frank?
Well, a
margarita's not a blender drink.
Well, it can be, but it's an exception. It's not pink.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
Pink drinks, and umbrellas. Umbrellas are not cool.
Yeah. Where do you stand on scotch?
Scott, go for it, man. Single malt, the
Single
best.
malt,
but
neat.
Umbrellas work if you're in the Bahamas.
Right.
And so you have the vacation
and
exception.
you're walking around with your shorts, and your lady's got a little thong on.
I gotcha. Okay.
And you're drinking from a coconut.
Right. All right. So, about 3 umbrellas.
Right.
All right. And how about the rules for tipping if you want to get a bartender's attention?
Got to tip the bartenders. They're working very hard, and if you want to get his attention, forget about giving them $1 or $2. Hit him with a dime or hit him with a nickel. You know what I mean? Just get there, say what's happening, man, and he give you a drink, and
take care of him.
Next time you wave, he's right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
So true.
Now, how about dating? There's some things a man's man needs to keep in mind while dating. Also, about treating your lady right and places to take her and so forth.
You take her to a nice restaurant. Let's say you haven't got a lot of money. You're just a regular guy. You work and you make dinner for her at home. Invite her over to the house.
Yeah, oddly in this book, Butchie's making a face.
I can't cook.
According to Frank Vincent, a man's man knows how to cook.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to learn.
Make a little broccoli robin sausage or something.
That's very nice.
A little salad, a little something nice, and you invite her over, light a candle, a glass of wine. You buy a bottle of wine. How much could it cost to do that?
Not a lot.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
And she'll love you forever, man.
In this book, there are recipes in there.
What?
That's
yeah,
right.
I'm telling you, Frank Vincent put in his mama's recipes
That's
are
right.
in there.
Very
His
nice.
own recipes are in
We
there.
got, let me see. I'm looking through the book myself because I figured Mother Mary's Sunday sauce. That's my mother's sauce.
Mother Mary Sunday sauce.
Meatballs, veal, pork, Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. My Mother Mary's lentil soup.
Oh.
I mean, these are all real deals.
Mm-hmm.
So if I buy the book, I can learn how to cook for my woman, and then I'll be a man's man, right, Frank?
Absolutely. Lamb chops a la Kathy. That's my wife.
Okay.
Very nice.
Broiled with honey and lemon, man.
It's good.
sounds good.
Ain't no big deal. Maybe $7, $8, $9. You buy it, you have a nice little dinner for your honey.
Now, Butch, if you want to be a man's man, though,
Yes.
according to the Frank Vincent guide here, you have to do more than cook. I mean, you got to dress right.
Well, I'm looking at Frank Vincent. I mean,
Always Natalie dressed, Frank Vincent.
impeccably
Always,
dressed.
yeah.
Me,
Even
not so much.
And neither, you know what is funny is like even the roles you play, it's like for some reasons you're always to the teeth. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's what stimulated the writing of this book, to be very honest with you, because the author Stephen and I wrote, and we sat down and we talked about the characters that I've played in the past, and they were real. I mean, they were tough guys and they were bad guys,
But they were classy guys, right?
They were honorable and they had integrity and they had loyalty to their friends and their family, and that's where the genesis of this book came from.
Makes sense.
All right.
And they call you Butch.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Is that not man?
How'd you get that name, man?
It's
He's
just
making a face.
It's just a nickname, man. Is that bad?
Well, Butch has a second connotation.
Well, yeah, but in the old days, it had a tough guy connotation. It's not my fault it's a fagola thing now.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You don't have to say it. I know by the look on your face.
I didn't bring that up at all. I just said.
But in the book there are some very specific, getting back to the dressing, very specific instructions for dressing, like in Frank Vincent's book, A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man. It'll give you the outfit you can wear to a nightclub. All right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
What to look for when you put together a good suit.
Wow, that I need a lot of help.
Even
with.
what to wear to the gym. So which is the same thing that Junior Gotti wore to church the other day.
Don't mention no names.
Wow.
Well, we cover it all. This is Men's 101.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Every step by step. Now, would you say your suggestions for dressing, Frank, would work for the average 25-year-old guy? Because it is kind of old school, what you're professing here.
Well, I don't think I'm professing that they wear these particular styles, but they should dress up a little bit in their fashion, in the moment that they're in, the young, youthful guys. They don't have to wear like dirty old ripped jeans and stuff like that or whatever. They can buy the styles that they wear and clean them up and press them a little bit, and they'll look cool.
Okay.
I mean, tradition.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're definitely a throwback kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you're trying to keep that essence alive.
I just want to inject that into the youth, not even the youth, anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Butch.
Not
I
so
don't want to
much.
say nothing.
No, go ahead. No,
Give it to him. Let him hear.
say whatever's on your mind.
No,
Let's
you
be
look
free.
all right, but I mean, you don't have to tuck in all the time. You let it, I mean, you could be a little.
Yeah, but I see that's an old school thing that I think you should. A lot of guys now they buy the shirts and they wear them untucked. I think that looks sloppy.
But it doesn't look sloppy if it's nice and neat. I mean, tucked sometimes you look a little. It ages you a little bit.
It does, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Look at my man.
Chuck, yeah, well,
He's
Chuck's
got the sweater. He's got the jacket. I mean, he's there.
Yeah, well, you don't know this, but we actually refer to Chuck as the Black Frank Vincent because of the way he
You're all right, Chuck. You're all right. Got to get you more hair. That's all.
True.
866-313-3733. Our guest is Frank Vincent. We'll work in your calls here. Johnny from New York, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hi to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Radio Chick. Hey. What's
Hey.
going on?
Hey, Johnny. Hey.
Hey. Well, let me tell you something. You're doing a nice thing there, but you know what? There are still guys from the Bronx that still act like gentlemen, dress like gentlemen, and still walk around like gentlemen. I don't know about your book. I don't know who that's going to go for. And it's great and all, but you know what? The way the world is today, you see these kids walking around, they actually buy gel that gives them a dirty look. Can you believe this?
Yeah, John. So what's wrong with? I mean, why you saying that? I'm not picking on the Bronx. I don't get it, man. What's up?
No.
What's up,
What
man?
I'm saying is, you got a lot of Bronx guys out here.
I know a lot of smooth guys, man.
And believe it or not, you wouldn't know from my accent, I'm an Irish guy. And I walk around.
I could tell that.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. I knew. I heard your small penis over the phone.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was the Black Frank Vincent.
It was the black.
That was
Frank
the Black
Vincent.
Frank Vincent. You know I'm joking.
So,
But-
John, wait a minute, Johnny. It says up here on the screen, though, that you wanted to say the media has distorted the type of man that Frank wrote the book about. You're talking about, like, metrosexuals?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, there are men out there, they go to work every day, that are men. They don't need a book to tell them, like,
Well,
how to
then,
be a man and how
then the
to
book
dress
is
like-
not the book is not for them. But see,
right.
the problem is there's a lot of guys out here that don't know.
yeah, exactly right.
They're walking around ignorant.
That's who we're appealing to. Well, not you, John, because I know you are smooth.
Yes, all right, John. Goodbye.
All
Thanks,
right,
John.
Get out of here.
Go home and get your shine box.
You could say that after every call, and you'll get the same reaction.
Every call.
Yeah.
And a pistol shot.
Just made my day.
Oh, my God. That's
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Now we don't even have to play it. But
That's phenomenal.
We'll save that for later.
866-313-3733. Vinny from New York. You're on with the Radio Chick. Say hi to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frankie, mezzo panuca.
Yay, Vinny. Yo, what's up, Vinny?
Oh, we lost him.
So long, Vinny.
Yeah, he'll call back.
Call
All right,
back, Vinny.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to the book because there's what Frank has in there about movies that a man's man likes and
good.
music that he should and shouldn't like. But I'm going to hold that for a second,
Okay.
if I can, because I'm busting here. I got to talk to you about The Sopranos.
Okay, honey, go ahead. Don't bust. Just talk about it.
All right. You're Phil Leotardo. You're doing a magnificent job.
Thank you.
Okay, lots of respect there.
Yep.
You know, old school in that role
Yep.
as well. And I think, I don't know if I read it in an article or maybe even in your book, that you say there's a good bit of yourself in Phil Leotardo.
Well, you know, as an actor, there's a good bit of myself probably in every role you play. But Phil Leotardo is a down-and-out murderer. I mean, he's killed over 25 people, according to the backstory. You know what I mean? But there's stuff about him that I guess I am, but that I'm really pretty different. But there's a lot of I'm trying to figure out what ingredients. Probably the respect and the loyalty and all that old school stuff is within me.
Okay.
And that comes out within the character, I think.
All right. Now, how about, you know, when Phil Leotardo, the character, learns something he doesn't like, you can almost see his soul turn black on camera.
Yeah.
You know, he has that simmering, quiet rage. You know, it's right there, even though he doesn't outwardly show it. Is that in you as well?
Yes, ma'am. It's pretty sexy, ain't it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
I know.
You know what? That was an excellent description, though, of the character, because you're right.
Yeah.
You know, playing opposite Gandolfini is Tony Soprano, who's just a time bomb. He goes off every 5 minutes.
Right.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah,
Phil
Phil's a
has
slow
control.
burn.
Very
He's
cool.
a slow burn.
Yeah.
Right.
Radio Chick, would you do me a favor?
Anything.
I'm looking right at you, and would you describe that again? 'Cause she was sitting there, the way she was saying was really...
She's good.
Yeah, she's good.
good.
Yeah, well, is that the way you play the character?
That's
Do you
the way
feel
it comes
that
out. Yeah.
simmering,
Well, you
quiet
have to,
rage
You
there?
have to feel it as an actor. Whatever scene you're doing or whatever situation you're in, you have to really feel what you're doing. I mean, otherwise you're not going to believe it.
So where do you draw from to get that quiet, seething rage that's right?
I'm a
under-
pretty angry guy.
Are you?
No. You draw from life's. You know, whatever you've been through in life. I've been angry. I've been happy. I've been sad. And if you got to be mad, man, you got to be mad.
Okay. All right.
Can I just quickly interject here with?
Go ahead, Butch.
Thank you, Frank. We played this clip yesterday. We reviewed the season opener of The Sopranos the other night, and we played your sit down with Johnny Sack in jail. And I think because we were referring to the fact, as the chick just said, how Phil's character is being loyal, he's being respectful, and he's being old school. So I want to just throw that out there real quick.
Go
This
ahead.
is from
You're going
HBO.
to play it? Okay.
Yeah.
So to split, your friend in Jersey says it should be the same as the old business we do over there.
That's public works. This isn't.
I'll hold the line.
Don't turn it into World War III. So day to day, how you getting along with Tony?
You asked me to bury the hatchet, John. I'm doing it out of respect to you. Am I still grieving over my brother Bill? That'll never go away.
I appreciate it, Phil.
Now, yeah, Phil's a great second in command. Does he have designs on running the New York family?
No, I don't think so. Well, I have to be careful what I say to you because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed. But Phil doesn't have designs on that. But he's in the position that if he has to do it, he has to do it.
Okay.
I mean, he has an obligation to his oath and to his family to do what he has to do.
All right.
And his boss is in jail. And
Yeah. What does Philly, again, not asking you to reveal any plot points because I know you can't, but what does Philly think of the New Jersey Soprano family?
oh, that's the farm team. They're only, they're farmers. They're not New York.
But they're living it up right now. They're doing good.
They're having a good time. They give us a lot of money. A lot of money comes out of Jersey.
Sure.
They're earning.
They're
So,
earners.
and so we keep an eye on them and make sure that they stay in line.
All right. 866-313-3733. Angelo from Jersey, you're on with the Radio Chick. Please say hello to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frank Vincent, how you doing?
Hi, Angie. How are you?
Hi, Radio Chick, how you doing?
Hey, Angelo.
I want to tell you, I'm a big fan of you. You're doing great. It's good to see you around.
Uh-oh, we're losing him, too. Wow, it's with the cell phone service.
I'm
today.
telling you.
All right, call back, Angelo.
Tough day for the cellulars.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break, if you don't mind, Frank Vincent. Is that all right?
Go ahead.
And I know you want to talk more about the book. And
I got a lot of things to talk about with Frank Vincent.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tons of stuff.
That's right.
I'm going to untuck my shirt while we're in the break. Is that all right?
Try it out.
Live it up.
Wait, let's see. Go ahead.
It's too long. See?
All right, somebody get an iron.
Check out The Radio Chick weekdays from 3 to 7 on 92.3 Free FM.
92.3
Free FM.
Here you can be free. The Radio Chick.
Happy to welcome back our pal Frank Vincent. You all know him as Phil Leotardo from The Sopranos.
That's right.
Good to have you back, man.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing here?
Hey, we're great. Nice to see you again, Frank. Do I look better today?
You look a little better. You don't look as wrinkled.
I'm untucked. I'm ironed and I'm untucked.
Cool, brother.
This may sound a little homosexual, but I thought of you this morning when I got dressed.
What's that homosexual mean? Why you keep bringing that up?
Fanuc? I don't know. What do you think?
We'll call you Vito.
Please don't
That's
do
right.
that.
I know you're. I've got to talk to you about that,
Okay.
Frank. Your character, Phil, has such a hard-on for Vito. What's your problem with the gay mobster?
That may not be the best
I like
choice
the way
of
you
words.
put that. I mean, that was a hard-on for him. That's good.
Exactly.
Well, actually, he's married to my cousin.
I know.
To Phil's cousin, and Phil's personally insulted.
Yes, I know.
Vito's a disgrace to the family, actually. But the hard-on don't count. Can you say hard-on on the radio?
Yeah, you just did.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, this wasn't from last night's Sopranos. It was from last week, but this is sort of Phil's overall feeling about the whole Vito situation.
Sure, we break some balls here tonight, but I go way back. And in light of recent humiliations, it's an honor to be joined by men. And not faggot-ass, cornholing like married my cousin. He should die.
Whoa, Phil, take it easy.
That's what I love about Phil. He's so subtle.
Yeah, he speaks his mind.
That's right.
You know, Johnny was crying. He said if they can make him cry, they can make him do anything.
Well,
That's
see, now,
right.
yeah, I thought that was rather disrespectful of Phil. I mean, you work for Johnny Sack, right? And you watch him cry when he's being led away in handcuffs in disgrace at his daughter's wedding, and you immediately turn on him.
Well, it wasn't immediate. It was almost immediate.
And then you start bad-mouthing him to the New Jersey family.
But did you see the guy that passed by? He said, that was terrible out there.
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's too bad. He really loves his daughter. So I defended him, too.
I know, but then you were talking crap with Christopher and with Tony.
Well,
Tony
listen,
Soprano.
In this business, it relates to every man for himself.
Right.
So, and if you're going to do the wrong thing, then you got to suffer the consequence.
That's
man.
right. And there's also, if you associate with weakness, you are weak. So you can't, if somebody is showing weakness and you support them in that weakness, now you're just as weak as that person.
Well, that's what Tony Soprano's problem is right now. He's feeling weak and he was hurt, and that's why he beat up the kid.
Right.
But
He wanted to show, that, you take down the toughest guy, maybe you're the toughest guy now.
I know,
it's
but
not
I'm
a
still,
chick thing. It's not a chick
I'm having a problem with it, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Phil Leotardo's, he's the acting boss while Johnny Sack is in jail.
Yeah.
Right? And he seemed like a good soldier, which is what I admired about him. Did exactly what was expected of him,
Yep.
even when it was hard, even when he had to go against his own instincts because Tony Blondetto killed his brother and
Yep.
so forth.
Yeah, well, right.
A real stand-up guy in that way. And then he's just turned off very easily to his boss.
Well, life is a bitch.
Oh, that's probably the best answer ever.
Sorry for you, hooray for me.
Now, do you think that your character, Phil Leotardo, wants Johnny Sack to beat the rap or not?
Yeah, he wants him to be.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, you never want anybody to go to jail.
Okay, even if it means you might ascend to the throne?
Well, no, see, he's acting boss right now, so he's not really the boss. He's just taking care of the business of the family. If Johnny came out of jail tomorrow, he'd still be in the same place, and only Johnny would be there.
Right.
I mean, I think he probably might even be elevated to another station, maybe alongside John or something.
Okay.
But among those that community, you never want to see anybody go to jail ever.
All right. And what does Phil Leotardo think of Tony Soprano? You have respect for him or not?
He thinks that Tony Soprano is a Jersey boss.
Right.
And Jersey's like the farm team.
Right.
So, I mean, he said it a long time ago. He said that when John voted against him at a meeting last season,
Right.
he said, he's a boss. And Phil said, Jersey? Come on.
Now, does Phil have a girlfriend? Does he have a gumad?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Interesting. We did see a woman at the wedding. You were sitting when Vito gets up and decides he's leaving early.
That's his wife.
That is his wife. Okay. We did see she didn't really.
I'm going to give you a little inside stuff.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I like
Last season, at Joe Peep's funeral, remember they put Joe Peeps on the tombstone? They said that the guy was dyslexic.
Right.
Who made the tombstone. There was a beef about that.
Yeah.
Johnny, Phil was with a woman who was supposedly his wife at the time. Okay, and you just sort of like a scanning shot, you caught them together. This woman was an extra. Okay, cut to the wedding this season.
Right.
When Vito was going to leave, and he said, where are you going? And a woman said something about something. That woman is the wife now. But funnily, sitting next to her is a woman who was the wife in the last season. So I was sitting there with my wife and my ex-wife.
Right.
But nobody knew the difference because you really didn't get a good picture. But isn't that funny?
Yeah,
I said, what the hell are you doing here? I played my wife last year.
866-313-3733 is the number. So do you, when Vince Curatola was here, Johnny Sack, he tells us that the cast of The Sopranos very tight,
Very tight.
hang out together. Do you hang out with any of your colleagues?
Yeah, we're all friends. We've been friends before The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vince and I and Tony Sirico and Dominic Chenies and Michael Imperial. I think I booked Michael on a show a product reel that I shot for one of the movies I was producing. Michael must have been 19 years old. I mean, we go back to the beginning, old New York guys.
Okay.
We've done a lot of movies with Dominic and Tony. And Vince is just coming into his own. So, I mean...
he told us he used to be a bricklayer.
Yeah. He's a hell of a guy. Good guy. And his wife, Maureen. Beautiful people.
Yeah, no, he was really cool when he was here. Yeah. And he was so nice and affable. And then we said, how do you pull up that deep, dark thing for Johnny Sack?
Oh.
And he did it instantly.
Yeah.
And
he said he goes to a place. He didn't tell us what it was, but when he was younger, that, brings him into the moment. And he did it for us in front of us and got that look in his eyes.
And we all crapped our pants.
Yeah, we were all ready to run out the door.
Really, every one of us needed a diaper.
Did he light a cigarette?
He wanted to. He really wanted to.
He gets pretty sexy with the cigarette. He really sucks on him.
866-313-3733. Our guest is Frank Vincent. William, you're on with the radio check.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, William.
I have a quick question. Let's just say the mafia allegedly exists. And if so, do you think that it's possible there's probably several homosexuals that are within families that maybe they have a don't ask, don't tell policy? And wouldn't you think that it's possible? I mean, just based on the numbers of men involved, there's got to be a few fruits floating around.
Can I ask?
It's for you, yes.
Are your feet on the floor? Are you lighting the loafers? I mean, what kind of question is that?
Curious.
Yeah, you're curious. Sure, yeah.
Well, I mean, just like you would expect, there's a certain portion of NFL football players that are gay. Why not gay mobsters?
Why not?
Right?
I don't know any.
Would you, your character, again, Phil Leotardo, would your character have a problem with Vito if he wasn't married to your cousin? Would you still?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
You just think it's...
Those guys don't like... See, you know what you said before about being weak? That's a weak... That's a way to get into somebody's mind. Mm-hmm. Because there's a weakness there. There's a non-common thing that's... I mean...
Right.
They think homosexuality is like the biggest disease in the world. I mean, that's the way these old-timers think. Mm-hmm. So if somebody can have sex with a guy, he'll make you do anything.
Right.
It's just the same principle.
Okay.
I want to play our favorite Frank Vincent cut from a couple weeks ago. You're seeing your cousin, I guess it is, Vito's wife, right?
Yeah,
That's your cousin on the show? And trying to convince her to let you know where he might be.
That was 2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago, okay, because you want to have a chat with him for bringing shame on the family.
Maybe there were signs, but Vito's better for is a good man, and he's a wonderful dad. Somebody sees something one time and he's tossed aside like garbage.
That's why I'm here, honey. There's been confirmation through the grapevine. Vito was seen in a car with a man. I don't want to get graphic beyond that. The idea of it repulses me so much.
He doesn't want to get graphic, but he did hear in the room.
Oh, it's funny.
Now, I'm not sure that was acting, really.
No.
That was highly convincing, Frank Vincent.
Sorry about that.
866-313-3733. Jerry, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hello to Frank Vincent. Oh, where's Jerry?
He should be there. Jerry?
Jerry?
Hello. All right,
Jerry.
maybe I'll call back. We got another call.
Give me Bill, then. Mm-hmm. Bill, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hi to Frank Vincent.
Hi, Frank. How you doing?
Good, Billy. How you doing?
And not bad. Listen, every role you play, you're always like, connected, a friend of mine or a friend of ours. How does it... People automatically assume and connect you with the mafia.
Not true,
in
though.
real life.
Not true. I remember you were in that Jennifer Aniston, the Ed Burns movie.
Yeah, she played my daughter.
Right. You play her father. And,
she's the one.
And you're talking. What was the actress's name? Shelley Fabre, I think it was, or whoever plays your wife. You're talking about how you have a very fruitful sexual life at an older age.
Right.
It was a very funny role. It didn't have anything.
At the beach house.
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
are sitting around at the beach house, and you're just a regular business guy.
Well, I've done a few of those roles, but the roles that got popular, of course, Goodfellas.
And, Billy Batts and Salvi from Raging Bull.
So that's the answer to that, Billy. Is that the guy's name, Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I played other roles.
Casino
Billy.
was a good role. Casino was a great role.
You like that one?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Well, you going to rate his performances now, Bill?
Thanks.
You know what?
Thanks,
you know
Bill.
what's great about okay, Billy. Thanks for nothing. The great thing about Casino is you finally get to turn the tables on Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
In every other movie, he's whacking you around or killing you, and in Casino, you kill him and his brother.
That's a true story, by the way. And I actually saw the photos of the guys that they did that to.
Wow.
You did? Was that part of your research for the role?
Yeah, part of my research,
It
absolutely.
was?
Yeah, they showed us the pictures. They were actually beaten faceless. I mean, the Joe's character and his brother.
Wow.
The Kansas City mob. Don't play with those people.
They're not the farm team.
No, they're the real deal.
Yeah.
Real deal.
You hang out with any of the wise guys?
I don't know any wise.
You
No,
don't?
you don't hang out.
Yeah,
you
what
don't
did you-
hang out with those people.
and what did you expect the answer to be?
Well, it would be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't make him a
we could-
mobster by association. It would just make him
I played music
sociable.
for a long time. I met a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people were everybody you talk to thinks they're in the mob, so it doesn't make any difference. But I've had occasion to meet some people a long time ago that were supposedly the right kind of people. But those kind of people are very, very dangerous. And 1 minute, like Joe Pesci did in Goodfellas, you make me laugh.
Yeah.
How do I make you laugh?
Right.
2 seconds, it goes from comedy to tragedy.
Right.
In 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so you got to be very, very careful how you talk to them.
All right. Now, where do you draw up your anger from for your roles? You have a sort of quiet, seething anger. But in real life, you're a very sociable guy. Very nice.
It's called talent.
Oh, don't you have to draw it from some real life experience?
I don't know how to. I don't.
Frank Vincent.
I think what he's saying,
just love him.
it just comes naturally to Frank. That's what he's saying. It's just part
I've
of...
seen so many guys like that. I've seen, I played clubs for a long time. I've seen guys get hit with bottles, seen guys fight, seen guys shoot guys, and you can see when somebody's mad, they're mad. So I mean, get mad and just be mad.
Okay.
Just get mad, get pissed off, and that comes out of your face and comes out of your mind and comes out of everything.
Right.
You got to think that way before you're going in. You got to know what the dialogue is, and it's just a technique.
All right.
No big deal.
866-313-3733.
He's a lot
is our
more humble
number.
than Vince Curatola was about his gift. Vince was a little more like, it's something I work on, and it comes from a very deep, dark place. Frank's like, hey, it comes out. It's me. What do you want?
That's what's fun about acting, because you meet everybody, and everybody comes from a different place.
That's right.
Who's schooled, who studied Shakespeare, who did this, who did that, who didn't study anybody.
Right.
And you all come together and you make a movie, and it's great. It's fun.
Where am I going? Diane, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hello to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frank. How you doing?
Hi, Di.
I love you on the show.
I love you off the show.
Thank you.
What's up?
I'm just wondering, I noticed in the closing credits last night that your cousin Marie, Vito's wife,
Yeah.
had the same name as Lorraine Bracco.
It's because it's her sister.
Oh,
It
really?
is her sister.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
See
was
that?
wondering.
Wow, how
You're
about
paying
that?
attention now.
Very
Yes,
good.
I am. I also saw your picture at Leo's last week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but did you go by a different name years ago?
No.
No.
It's somebody's different name on my picture.
Frank's
It had a different name.
What name?
I don't remember.
Then it wasn't my picture.
That's probably somebody else.
I thought it was you. It was a very handsome gentleman.
Oh, you're very nice.
All right. Take care, Frank.
Thank you, honey.
All right, Diane, thank you.
Now, you're a happily married man, Frank Vincent, yes?
Yes. Why? What do you got in your mind?
Not me. I'm thinking about people like Diane.
You're untucked now.
I am untucked. I'm ironed and untucked. No, I'm saying, what's it like? I mean, you must have women come up to you and find you very attractive because of your look, but also the part you play on the show. And don't be looking at Chuck like that.
No.
I'm just wondering what it's like to be, admired.
It's part of being a, quote, celebrity, because people come up to you all the time, and it's nice. My wife is very, very understanding. She understands what it's all about, and she knows if a girl comes up to you and asks for a picture or an autograph, you give it to her and you be nice to her. A lot of girls come up to me and say, my husband wants an autograph. Where's your husband? He's over there. Come here, you. You sent your wife over here for a picture? You're not a man's man at all.
Are you asked to sign any interesting body parts? Do you get autograph seekers like that?
Why? What's on your mind? I'll sign anything you want.
Just wondering how understanding your wife needs to be.
She's not that understanding. Okay. Don't get me in trouble.
All right. Al, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hello to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frank. How's it going?
What's up, Al?
I saw your picture in a copy of Modern Drummer recently, and I understand that you're a former big band drummer.
Yes, I am.
Do you still play?
No, unfortunately, there's no place to play, so I go visit friends who are playing, and once in a while sit in with them.
Oh, okay, because, there are not many people that, that play music also do the acting thing, and they kind of lose, they don't do the same thing that they used to love doing. Sometimes.
You'd be very surprised how many actors are musicians.
That's right. It goes pretty much, it's the
together.
same thing. It's about beats, it's about rhythm,
yeah.
It's about choices, and so the two actually go together very well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right,
we got to take a quick time out.
All right, Frank Vincent is here. We're going to discuss this week's Sopranos episode. Also, last time you were here, we talked about your book, A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man.
Cool, huh?
Which is why Butchie was asking you about his dressing, because you are the authority. Tell men how to date, how to dress, right? All kinds of things in here, right? With the music to pick and so forth.
Yep.
And you're doing an appearance, right? Tomorrow
night.
Right, at Barnes & Noble at 2245 Richmond Avenue here in New York in Staten Island. Right? And the book is available in bookstores everywhere.
Amazon and what? Amazon. It's on Amazon. Whatever.
It's everywhere.
You can buy it anywhere.
It's everywhere. How's the book doing for you?
It's doing great.
It is.
Yeah, it's really because of people like you. You're helping us out.
Now listen. Besides being on The Sopranos as Phil Leotardo, Frank's got a book out, A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man. He's having a signing at the Barnes & Noble in Staten Island tomorrow. FrankVincent.com is his website, and you can even buy Billy Bat's T-shirts there.
Go home and get your shine box. Nice.
Everything Frank Vincent at FrankVincent.com.
Oh, how nice.
866-313-3733 is the number. We got to talk about last night's episode. We got full lines. I don't even know what to do here first.
Let's take a couple phone calls for Frank, since he's nice enough to come in, and we can get into the episode in a few minutes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. 866-313-3733 is the number. Dean, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hi to Frank Vincent.
Hi, how you doing, Frankie?
What's up, Deanie?
Hey, I remember you from Plock's Garden Center in Clifton, New Jersey. I used to work there, and one day you walked in with dark sunglasses and a long black trench coat with some blonde, and my friend of mine goes, "That's the guy that played in Goodfellas, Billy Bass." I was like, "No way." I'm looking at you, and I'm like, "That's him. I have to be kind." So I go over and ask you if you need any help, and you kindly said, "No, I'm just looking." And then I kind of asked you, I said, "Excuse me, sir, are you Frank Vincent?" And you said, "Yes, I am." And you extended your hand and shook my hand, and it was the best feeling I've ever had. I love the movies. I love your character. Every character you play, the passion it's unbelievable.
Well, see, I thought it was going to be a bad story there for a minute. Yeah.
Thank you. That's my son, actually. Thank you very much.
866-313-FREE is the number. Mike, you're on with the Radio Check.
Frank, how you doing? This is Mike calling from White Plains.
Hey, Mikey, how's White Plains doing?
Not bad, not bad. You know, it's getting big up there.
Yeah.
Listen, Frank, I'm up to meet you down in South Beach. A couple of friends of mine, we had a photo opportunity with you. Unfortunately, we lost the photo. And similar to what the other guy was saying, I said, "That's Billy Batts from Goodfellas." You turned around, you said, "Watch yourself, kid." And
Did I have my tongue on?
I wasn't sure for that. Anyway,
South Beach.
Sure, Frank, I got a copy of the book. My buddy, one of the guys I was with in South Beach, he gave me a copy of the book signed by you.
Wow.
With the same quote inside. It means a lot, And since then, we've been, we've all been big fans of you.
Have you learned anything from the book, though, Mike? Have you learned anything?
Yeah, have you taken anything from the book?
Well, you know what? I'm kind of a man's man myself, so it was kind of like a refresher course. But I tell you what, I handed out a couple copies to a couple guys at work. I work in an office now.
It's a good thing to hand out, because in the book, Frank, you tell people how to eat, how to dress, how to date, how to choose music like a man's man.
That's right.
Right?
Teach them how to go to Las Vegas, how to play a little blackjack.
Right.
We teach them everything you need to know to be a man's man: honor, integrity, respect,
Right.
tradition.
Right.
A lot of the kids today, not just the kids, some of the older guys too, they have no tradition. We want to bring back some honor. Treat women like women.
That's right. You also have dressing suggestions for different scenarios.
Yes.
Right. And, going out to dinner, out to a nightclub, for instance.
Formal
Right.
nightclub. How to get through the line.
Right.
$20 bill works all the time. $50 bill, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Well, music to make love by, right? Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon.
That's a good one.
That's a song you should always play when you're making love. A song you should never play when you're making love. Celebration.
It's like Cool in the Gang.
What if it's been a long time, though?
And it actually is a celebration. Well, if you're a man's man, you wouldn't have that problem.
No,
That's
you wouldn't.
right.
You wouldn't even own that record.
That's
I don't think.
Not Cool in the Gang.
Right. A man's man doesn't listen to anything with a gang.
You
I'm
see,
sure.
the reason why the book came out so good, I have a young co-author, 28-year-old Stephen Preget, and he adds a whole different dimension to my traditional style, and it works. And the book is doing terrific. And
It's available everywhere.
Yep.
Right. And at frankvincent.com.
frankvincent.com.
John, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hi to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frank. How are you?
You there?
Yeah, hi, Frank. How are you?
Good, John. How are you?
Good. I wanted to know if you had no room for the drum set because of the wind tunnel you keep in the house to do your hair with.
John, you're getting on my nerves, John.
Are you kidding? Frank Vincent has a great head of hair.
That is pretty nice, man. And, for a guy that has no hair, referring to myself.
Yes.
Very envious.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Really? Tough to take care of?
It takes time.
I got news for you, Frank. Butchie actually has pictures of just your hair.
I'm a fan of his hair.
Did you send that to me on my website?
No, it wasn't me. I swear it wasn't. Not me.
It was right after I did the show the last time, Butch. I don't know.
Hey, Frank, you're getting on my nerves, all right?
Oh, sorry, Butch.
866-313-FREE is our number, 866-313-3733. Joe, say hi to Frank Vincent. You're on with the Radio Chick.
Yeah, hello, Frank. How you doing?
Joey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Chick?
Hey.
Hey, Joe.
I actually have a question about last night's episode, so maybe it'll dovetail into that, and I guess the way the series is going. It seems to me like last week was kind of Artie Bucco. Last night was the Kid. Seems like everybody is getting a shot at taking a star turn as the series kind of winds down, I guess. And you've been integral in all the episodes, but I guess your time is coming. What do you make of that?
Joey, that's a very, very astute observation.
Mm-hmm.
That's very brilliant. Just the best observation I've heard since we went on the air this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're onto something there, is what he's saying,
go.
Joe. But, of course, Frank has to be careful what he says. You can't tell us too much.
As you saw, this was the 8th or the 9th episode. I'm not sure. Everybody, Tony Sirico, Paulie Wallen. I think it's David's way of featuring the people that have been on the show for so long in different ways and bringing them up forward. The kid who hung himself.
Right.
Like, you never even knew who that was.
Gino, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was until he was gone.
So we have, I think, about 3 or 4 shows left, and everybody's going to get a turn up at bat, I think.
Yeah, well, I said to you off the air, Frank, that your character, Phil Leotardo, I think is being set up for something big because he was worked into last night's episode just for, I thought, no other reason except for a setup for something in the future.
Yeah.
You met with that scene we heard where you met Tony and you expressed your displeasure very clearly about what was happening with Gay Vito.
Yeah.
Right?
And
the rest of the episode, we had to watch Gay Vito go on dates.
I know. What is up with that?
That's, what does he call it? Brokeback Mafia. 2 guys kissing in the woods.
Yeah, I wasn't. Enough of that story already. I wanted, like, the Juliana Margulies storyline was great, and it's not a homophobic thing, but either they're going to whack Vito or they're not. But he's running away, hiding in New Hampshire. So why do we need to see what he's doing up there right now?
Well, he's
if somebody
finding
goes
himself.
after him, that's fine. But I don't want him to find himself on my time.
Well, maybe they have to show him coupling up with a guy, so when someone finds him, he's actually engaged.
Oh, God.
in some sort of relations.
Wow, that's cute. That's a theory.
Look at that.
The idea of it repulses me so much.
It does repulse
Me too, Frank.
But you like Julianne?
Oh, I love her. I loved her for years, but that was a nice little storyline for her last night.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were going to see her in the nude, maybe, or a little something there.
Almost you did.
Frank had his fingers
Keep
crossed.
your fingers crossed.
That's right.
Almost. Her final offer, $494,000, and
Right.
a roll in the hay
Right.
to sell the building.
And Tony got guilty.
Yeah,
Which is
he caught
was
conscience.
was unthinkable.
The first time you've ever seen him, which was kind of cool because it shows you how this tragic event, being shot by Uncle Junior, has kind of changed him.
Softened him.
In a way, it has softened him, but maybe it's not softened. Maybe it just expanded him.
Yeah, thinking
He's
different
thinking
things
differently now.
Well, I got a couple of sound bites from that if you want. We'll start. This is her second meeting with Tony after she sees him in front of the pork store.
You're talking Juliana
Margulies, yeah, the real estate
character,
agent.
right? Skiff is her name.
Right,
Juliana Skiff.
Yeah. She tracks him down to the Bing, which is interesting.
Cool.
Seeing her sitting there and talking business with Tony in front of all those naked chicks. So this is that scene.
Listen, why don't me and you go get some dinner?
I have a boyfriend. Engaged.
I have a wife. I'm married.
I love it.
So, we're talking business.
You just said you don't want to sell. What's there to discuss?
Truth is, I'm very attracted to you. Maybe you read in the papers that I got shot. Well, Juliana, that experience made me appreciate life. It's short. It can end at any time. And if you got the chance to do something that might make you happy, you should take it. Like when you left Binghamton.
You're very persuasive. And in the past, I might have jumped. Like I said, I'm engaged. Things are going well. And I think for once in my life, I will exercise a little self-control.
Unless you accept my offer. But maybe not so much.
She's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
She's very sexy. You don't like her.
I don't dislike her. I thought her ER days, she looked a little like a monkey woman.
You used to make fun of me because I loved her on that show on
Right.
ER. She used to break my balls, Frank.
Well, what are you going to do, man?
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's not right.
I would call her monkey woman. I'll admit it.
What's that mean, monkey woman?
She looked a little like a monkey to me.
For real, like a real monkey.
Yeah, like a monkey. Yes, an actual monkey. Yes.
Okay.
All
right. I can see the resemblance.
Right, but I'm not saying that today. I thought she looked great last night.
Beautiful, yeah. So this is mostly a visual. I'll play a little piece of it, but this is they agree to a deal. He goes to her apartment to sign the papers, and then things get a little hot and heavy.
Fumbling on the bed now, on the couch.
Rips her pants.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's so subtle, that Tony Soprano.
Hey, listen, that's true passion.
We have to go into the studios and loop things.
Right.
Now, you see what you just heard?
Yes. Right.
Now you have to go in the studio and you have to look at that happening and go,
right.
And put the sound on that.
That's wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no kidding. That isn't done in real time.
It's done in real time, but they don't have it. They don't really have it because you can't wear a mic.
You can't wear no.
And you can boom it, but still,
so you got to
it's not going to
enhance it.
have the intimacy that you need when you hear it. So you have to go in. You have to do that.
She sounds like she enjoyed the tearing of the panties, though.
That's a sound guy in L.A. going like that.
That's right. Ripping a little piece of fabric.
We're looping everything now for syndication. We're taking all.
Oh yeah,
right.
We're up to. In fact, I have to loop tomorrow morning. We have. We take 12 episodes. Take all the curses out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really?
sure. Because you can't have it.
Yeah, you can't have that on TBS.
Do you substitute another word in?
Freaking.
Right.
Not mother lover, I hope.
No.
That's such a weak one.
I try to match it to your.
Okay, so that clip you played from Frank before.
Which one?
The
About Vito?
cornholer.
Cursing Vito?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I did on that.
Yeah. How would,
Oh.
okay, play that again. Maybe you can think of how the hell you would clean that up for syndication.
Yeah.
Sure, we break some balls here tonight, but I go way back. And in light of recent humiliations, it's an honor to be joined by men. And not faggot-ass, cornhole-and like married my cousin. He should die.
Whoa, Phil, take it easy.
Freaking die.
Freaking die,
Yeah,
sure.
What about the faggot-ass cornholing part?
I forgot what we did. It took a long time to do it, though.
Wow, yeah, it's a-
we just did it last week, yeah.
So now that would be fruity ass fairies.
Yeah, right.
That's
Okay.
what they'll change that to. And they'll also, too, you got to remember there's different cuts that they have.
Yeah.
Right.
So
In and
instead, they'll cut away with fruity
You
ass
just hear it.
fairies. Instead of it being on
Trying to
Frank,
match it.
they'll either match his mouth or they'll show somebody else.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, technical stuff.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. We're still looping, yeah.
Yeah, they should just let it go. Let's just say how you feel. Let Phil's
it.
character be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know you can't curse here.
No, you can't curse.
Ready to rip.
You can
But
be
you said
true.
you should say what you feel.
I thought you
Not
were
here,
setting
though.
me
But
up.
no, do it somewhere
Say
else.
exactly what you feel when you leave the room.
Unfortunately, we fall into that same stupid guideline.
That's all right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Frank Vincent talking about last night's Sopranos episode. Still taking your calls. 866-313-3733. What, you giving me a dirty look already?
Well, that's because there's no made women, only made men. She thinks it's harsh.
I do think
she's
it
a
was
woman.
harsh.
You know.
I'm big on loyalty, Frank Vincent.
Well, loyalty's all right, but he wasn't being disloyal. He was being factual.
I don't know. I
'Cause
thought it
I'm-
was a bit gossipy.
Well, he could gossip, I guess.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, honestly,
That's
when
right.
you make a statement like that, you could be gauging the reactions of
Right.
the other guys
Yes.
you're talking to.
Well,
you want to find out how they feel about the situation.
Okay.
Strategy,
So it's
man.
strategy. You float that out there.
But that's going to get back to Johnny Sack. I'm worried about you, Phil.
Don't worry about it.
Well, Johnny needs him right now.
Yeah, that's true. He does need him while he's inside.
He does.
We never know what David Chase has got up his sleeve, though. We
right.
never
Never
know.
know.
I know 12, up to 12.
Okay.
Right.
But I don't know what's going to happen 8 after that, after we start doing the first 8.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are going back to do that in June, right?
Yeah,
You're
I
going to
think
start again on the.
Yeah, we don't know. End of June,
End of June.
beginning of July, whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
866-313-3733. Talking about last night's Sopranos episode. Jason, you're on with the radio chick.
Hey, Radio Chick.
Hey, Jason.
Speak up, Jason.
You know this is Bored Jason, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
bored
bored
Jason.
Jason.
He's bored. He's a kid that's
Oh,
bored.
he's bored?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watch some porn.
I got enough of that.
All right, what's on your mind there, Jason? We don't have all day with Frank Vincent. Come on.
No, I just want to say that seeing Vito kissing the guy made me sick. I felt like AJ throwing up in the parking.
Okay.
Oh, well, you share similar emotions with Phil's character then.
And a lot of the characters on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is that because it was Vito? I mean, if it were a more handsome, fetching man, would have been better for you? Okay, bored Jason.
Stay bored, Jason.
That's right.
Go home and get your shine box.
Well, Vito did have that gaydar going, though. He picked the one volunteer fireman that was
He's a hero.
susceptible to his advances.
What do you think tipped off that the guy might be gay? His Village People mustache?
Yeah,
it wasn't
or-
that hard to figure out.
Or showing up to a fire on a Harley wearing chaps.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
Come on.
well-
How many more metaphors do we need?
Well, it was New Hampshire.
Right. The whole town is gay.
I mean, here's a guy who shows up, runs into a fire, and comes out not singed at all,
Right.
Because he's already flaming.
What does he?
Has no effect.
What
on
does he
him.
make? The flapjacks? What does he call them?
Johnny Cakes.
Johnny Cakes.
Come on.
Cakes. Yeah, right.
Can I get some Johnny Cakes?
Even his breakfast food is gay.
Vito stole the cell phone so he could call his wife.
Right.
You realize that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that an important notation?
I
No,
think
it's
so.
just that. Well, it's the first time he's communicating with her.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. All right. I figure is that situation. I know you can't tell us anything, but I figure that situation has to come to some sort of closure. Either he has to break off from his wife or go back for a visit or something. He still seems to be torn.
Yeah, he's torn. He's
Yes.
torn. Well, he was torn. That's why he had to fight with the guy. Because
Yeah.
the guy wanted to kiss him, and he said, he smacked him.
Right. But instead, we saw a lovely picture of the two of them next to, I don't know, field, a babbling brook, something
long
like that.
shot. It was a long shot,
Right.
a long camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sensitive.
Yeah, we could do a close-up on murder, but gay kissing we have to do from 50
far
feet away, right?
That's life. Life's a bitch, man.
866-313-3733. Vinny, Vinny, you're on with the radio check.
CBC, how's it going?
Hey, Vinny.
Mr. Frank Vincent, it's an honor to speak to you.
What's up, Vinny?
Hey, not much. Listen, I loved the show last night, but everybody's got it all wrong. Those Sounds of Passion with the underwear tear was actually Vito and his boyfriend when they were laying on the ground.
All right, Vinny, you got it.
We ate a late dinner last night. I couldn't finish it. It was disgusting.
Oh my goodness. I
just wanted to set the record straight.
All right, we got it.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Hey, can I switch gears because I know we're running out of time? My favorite, this didn't involve your character, of course, but my favorite part of last night was watching those two guys try and shake down the manager's Starbucks.
That was fun.
That was cute.
Yeah, right?
That was nice.
Yeah, as if they didn't know it was, a huge conglomerate.
Dan Grimaldi. Good guy.
Patsy.
Good guy.
Yeah, I have the clip of the two of them going into the, I guess it was supposed to be like a
supposed
Starbucks.
to be a Starbucks.
I mean, they're walking around town, they're shaking down the pork store and they're shaking down the egg store and the individual store owners. How are they going to shake down a manager at Starbucks?
It's like they have a license to do that.
Mhm.
Right. Here's my license. Pay up.
Hand it over.
We're from the North Ward Merchants Protective Cooperative.
I'm kind of busy. You guys looking for a donation?
Let him finish. You may have noticed, not to denigrate anyone, but this is a transitional neighborhood. I mean, demographically speaking, you still have a lot of marginal types.
And we merchants have found you really should have some round-the-clock security here.
Isn't that what the police are for?
They do their best, but they got their hands full. Your weekly dues to us will give you all the supplemental safety net you'll ever need.
I can't authorize anything like that. It'd have to go through corporate in Seattle.
We merchants prefer to deal on a personal, one-on-one basis.
I don't have any discretionary funds. It's got to go through corporate.
How do you think corporate would feel if, for the sake of argument, someone threw a brick through your window?
They've got like 10,000 stores in North America. I don't think they feel anything.
What if, God forbid, it wasn't just vandalism? What if an employee, even the manager, say, was assaulted?
Look, every last coffee bean is in the computer and has to be accounted for. If the numbers don't add up, I'll be gone and somebody else will be here.
Now they're disgusted as they walk out.
It's over for the little guy.
Nice. Oh, that's so funny.
866-313-FREE is the number.
You tried to shake down Starbucks.
Yeah.
They should have just walked into a Comp USA and tried to shake down Microsoft.
Nick, and now they find out that the chicken store is going to be Jamba Juice. They're not going to get any scratch there either.
That's right. They might as well have tried to shake down the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Right,
It would have the same success. Anthony, you're on with the Radio Chick. Say hello to Frank Vincent.
Hey, Frank Vincent, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Hi, Tony. What's up?
Not much. Frank, listen, I loved you in Goodfellas, Casino, Raging Bull, but I love The Sopranos, but I have to ask you, how was it making Easy Money with Rodney Dangerfield?
I forgot you were in Easy Money, man. That was such a great movie.
It was a tumult. You know what's a tumult? Because Rodney was at his prime in those days.
Sure. Yeah, that
was right
Rodney was nuts.
Yeah?
We had a lot of fun with that. Yeah,
That's a great movie.
It's a long time
You're
ago.
one of his buddies who doesn't give up all his bad habits while Rodney's trying to clean up and win the money, right?
Funny movie. Yeah,
That's
we had
great.
a lot of fun doing it.
And your pal Joe Pesci's in that
Yeah,
also,
he
right?
ran on a racetrack. He jumped on a jockey. Remember?
Hey, look at us. We're browsing.
Where does he get them so fast?
Check out the Radio Chick weekdays from 3 to 7 on 92.3 Free FM.